Hi everyone, welcome to my December 2017 transits session, my VIP Solutions Hour. I'm so excited because this month is jam-packed, filled with changing energy. And so the energy is so kind of radical right now because there's a ton of shifts, and I want you to listen to these shifts and incorporate them into your own life. Take the power, extract the power or the juice from them, and then put them into the world in a way that really benefits you. And they're super transformative. So I'm going to show you my screen right now, and hopefully you can all hear me and see this. So here is today, December 2nd. And we're going to just like step right into incredible energy, including even today is pretty incredible. But look at this right here, and you're starting to learn how to read charts, and I love it. And maybe many of you who will see this video already know how to read a chart. But this is very interesting. We have right here, we've got the sun in Sag by 10 degrees. And can't you feel the Sagittarius energy out there in the world? I just felt it the day it moved from Scorpio to Sag, and I have my Libra cup today. I should be in my Sagittarius cup. But because I drink from my Sagittarius cup every single day, it's dirty. Okay, so this is what's really important here. We've got this, I'm going to talk about this negative aspect first, and it's got so much power in it, it doesn't know what to do with itself. I think we can turn it into a positive though, and I'm going to talk about how we're going to do that. But see how we have this Mars in Libra right here at 25 degrees, and you can follow this red line, that's an opposition, and see how it's opposing Uranus and Aries at 24 degrees. That's called a tight opposition because 25 and 24 is just 1 degree away. So those are tightly connected. They're on the same path. Well, look at this. It sits right here in square aspect. Okay, it sits in an angry aspect, both of these planets, right here. So this is called a T-square. So you have Mars squaring Capricorn. Granted, it's pretty wide. It's been there for a while. And then you have Uranus squaring Capricorn. Okay, so let's dissect this. What does this mean? And this has been happening for a while. And it's going to continue, this square is going to continue to be intense until the 8th of December. So I really want you to pay attention to what happens between now and the 8th. Now this has been going on for a while and we've been seeing it. So let's just dissect it. It's pretty easy. Mars, the god of war, has robust power and rocket fuel. Okay, it's the life force energy, and it is also the planet of sex. Uranus, the great shocker, the liberator, sometimes the shock is so intense, it's destructive. And then you have the will, or the planet of power, Pluto, Plutonian power. And this is kind of also corporations and corporate power, status, unbelievable stealth power. Mars has a power that's very overt. When you see a Mars energy, like a Russell Crowe, he's an Aries, or Richard Sherman, he's an Aries. These people are ruled by Mars. And they walk into a room and you see their power. This Plutonian power is a Harvey Weinstein type of power, if you get where I'm going. So this aspect has the ability to topple, if you will, and we're seeing it. Uranus can take someone out in a flash, in a micro nanosecond. Is that such a thing? Uranus can operate so fast it will have your head spin around in just seconds, because it's like a bolt of lightning and you're not prepared for it. And so here we are watching this great power play, if you will, or the abuse of power, the war on power, and we're watching it become completely dismantled. And it's sad and it's horrifying, and it's shocking, right? Every day you wake up shocked, shocked again, and again, and again, and again. 3 shocks in a day on this subject. And there will be more too, but I just find it's very interesting that it's on the subject of the abuse of power. Pluto in a square aspect means Pluto's not operating properly. To Mars, sex, and wanting to, what is Uranus wanting to do? Uranus is wanting to liberate us from this mess. And Pluto is usually hidden or secret power, power that isn't obvious. It's smoldering. It's the hot embers on the fire, you know, it's not the flames. Mars is like the flame, and Pluto is like those blue embers underneath that you don't see until you really pay attention, because the flame is just so big. And so we're going to see between now and December 8th, there's more of this exposure. But actually, this exposure is really going to exist this entire time Jupiter is in Scorpio, which is for the whole next year. So it will still be occurring, but I think we're in for other kinds of shocks too. So hold on. I can't be full on at 9:30 in the morning on a Saturday without my cup of coffee, so forgive me. So we've got huge power plays around sexual harassment, and I just feel that the subjects are power, covert and overt power, willpower, if you will, and shock. So in your own life, this is what I'm thinking. In your own life, how can you be a part of this Uranus? How can you be a part of the liberation? How can you be a part of the radical change? Because the reason why this is happening is because Uranus is begging for a change. And I do think you're seeing women and even men step into the light and the truth and power. I don't know how many conversations I've had with truly great men in my life about how they're shocked and surprised too, and how the conversation is far more open. And we've got this monster sort of revealed. It's out on the table. Okay, so a lot's happening in this very first week of December. So I want to advance this just to tomorrow, okay? So here's tomorrow. And this is our glorious full moon. Do you see the moon just moved into Gemini? This is tomorrow, December 3rd. You can look up here for the date. And it's in opposition to the sun, and that's what makes it a full moon. Now, what's interesting about this full moon is it's a super moon. And so the super moon makes it feel even more extraordinary, if you will. And so I'm going to take, you guys have this, I'll come back to this, but I'm going to take this off just for a minute, and now I think you can just see me. But the super moon is really interesting because it's when the moon is actually closer to the earth. And so what happens is we get this unbelievable pulsating feeling, and we get it literally like the tides, the ebb and flow, and the earth will actually have a much more intense vibration, but you're going to feel that as well. And so with, you know, I find whenever the sun is in Sagittarius, it's always going to have its full moon in Gemini, because Gemini is Sagittarius's opposite, and that's a lot of movement. That's a lot of havoc. Because I say that Gemini is on 24 radio stations at one time, and Sagittarius does not know how to sit down. And so this is a ton of energy. And when the moon is so very close to its orbit of Earth, there's this stronger gravitational pull to go into 1,000 directions, if you will. And it's all happening at 11 degrees Gemini and Sag. And so if you have planets around that degree, you're going to really feel it. And so this is a time for culmination. This is a time for closure. And so it's a time when you are being asked to really take a look at the big picture and all of the data that comes with it, and purge and let go of everything that is not elevating you. You know, we have so much chaos in our lives. So what I want to ask you is, with the Gemini Sag aspect, this is a time to eliminate the chaos. So I don't know about you, but I just have stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of mail. And it's just, I hold on to this mail, and what my goal is this weekend, and it's funny because this moon is tomorrow, and I didn't do this because of the moon. This is just my next project, and it just so happens to be on this moon. And I'm going through all these stacks of mail, and I'm going to organize them, keep the things that I need, which is probably about that much. But I mean, I have stacks so high, I can't even begin to tell you, because I don't usually sort my mail as it comes in. I just shove it into a corner. So you can imagine this job, right? And I'm going to purge and remove. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go online, and I'm going to switch to electronic everything, because I don't need this havoc and clutter in my life. So I'm going to really make a commitment to not have this problem next year, because it bogs me down. It weighs me down. It makes me feel like I have this giant responsibility to this mess that I don't even want to have. And so that's a silly example, a small example of purging out the chaos, purging out the havoc, getting rid of the clutter and the mess. You know, Gemini loves to organize. Sag, not so much, but Gemini loves to organize. Sag loves the freedom of the organization and the unclutteredness, because they like to move freely in and out without having a lot of clutter. So that's going to be my project. And I recommend you get a project this weekend too. Maybe it's your garage. Maybe it's your kid's closet. So the full moon's at 7:46 Pacific time tomorrow. And I want to also tell you, tomorrow, as you know, it's a big day. And if you know me, let me just see. Mercury is in retrograde, and I think I put the exact time. Yes, I did. So Mercury's in retrograde. It's interesting because it's at 11:34 p.m. Pacific time, or 2:34. Oh, it's tonight at 11:34 p.m. It's really late tonight, basically midnight tonight on December 2nd, or it's December 3rd in the early hours on the East Coast. And it's going to last until the 22nd. And so here's what's interesting about this Mercury in retrograde. Yes, I can tell you, review, rewind, rest, don't date, don't get married. You know all that. I've been preaching that. And if you don't know, go watch my Mercury in retrograde video, and also go to the VIP section on my website and read my whole entire essay on Mercury in retrograde. And all of that is true. But I want to tell you something about this Mercury in retrograde, because it's a little bit different. It stops and it moves backwards starting at 29 degrees Sagittarius. And so it's in the 29th degree, if you know me, you know that that's the crisis degree. And I believe so strongly in the 29th degree. And I also believe so strongly in the 1 degree or 0 degree, the 59 seconds. And so when it's in this crisis degree, it's really a struggle. And let me just tell you what I think about this Mercury in retrograde. Because it's in Sagittarius and it's retrograding backwards at the 29th degree, it's going to go back through Sagittarius. So this is a Sagittarius theme. And Sagittarius does not like all the little details, right? So you might not get all the teeny weeny little problems that we usually have, like when it's in Gemini, all your electronics just go out. This is more about wisdom, and this is more about higher consciousness. So this, and at the 29th degree, it is Sagittarius crisis. So where are you not wise? Where do you need to develop higher consciousness? This retrograde is asking you to step into your hero's journey. The hero that lives inside of you, that hero's journey. and develop a wisdom and develop a higher level thinking about your life's truth, your life's goals, your life's purpose. So Sagittarius is the quester for the Holy Grail, and they do not want to return from their journey in life without having the Holy Grail. Now, the Holy Grail is not something that you go out and get and bring back like a scroll. The Holy Grail is the collective set of truths that your soul learns to live by through its lifetime. So what's that collection? And let's reevaluate it. And do you have any truths in there that really don't work? Do you have some superficial truths that you're holding on to? Like, a fancy car makes my life better. Well, it actually does in some ways, but you know, how much do you prescribe to that belief system? And can that use some reworking? And are there some new truths? Is there a higher wisdom available to you? Pick up a book. Oh gosh, I have my purse downstairs, but oh my gosh, I just had the craving after a yoga class with my fabulous teacher, Renee, who read from Eckhart Tolle's book, The Awakening of Your Journey, of Your Soul. And I just opened it up and wow, wow, wow. If that's not a Sagittarius in retrograde book, then I don't know what is. I wish I had it right here in my hands to show you. Anyways, pick up Marianne Williamson's A Return to Love. Pick up a philosophical book that will help you reevaluate what you really believe in, because with a non-judgmental attitude. And so go deep into the wisdom about your choices. This is a time to, you know, really reevaluate and make meaning out of the events in your life. And by removing the emotions and stepping into non-judgmental wisdom about yourself and your choices. And I want to ask you also to leave the victim behind, because the hero is not the victim. So I set out on this journey. And I had quite a wild adventure on this particular journey. And it was very rewarding in the moment, and it was liberating and exciting. And only in hindsight did I feel like ultimately the victim. And then I realized that I don't have to adopt that attitude. I don't have to wear that archetype. I can stay in the moment of joy that that particular journey brought me, and I can learn from it. And I can say, on the next journey, this is what I learned from that. So it doesn't work well. You cannot be your own hero if you are also being a victim. So I ask you to step into the hero piece of you. How can you save yourself the next time from maybe being victimized, if you will? Stay in the hero archetype, because that's true Sag. That is true Sag. Sages don't usually relate to the victim. Hold on one second. Lo, could you go downstairs, and in my gold purse, I have a book in there, and bring it to me? Thank you. Good, I'm gonna get the book for you. I want you to get this book. Open it up to any page. This is a time, this is how I want to sum up this Mercury in retrograde. In December, this is a time for a spiritual upgrade. Reboot your system. Upgrade your spiritual wisdom and or your consciousness. That's how I would like to sum that up. So we talked a little bit about Mercury in retrograde. I mean, it's like everything's happening in the very beginning here. Here's my darling daughter with my book. This is what I want to show you. Thank you, honey. This is the book, Awakening Your Life's Purpose. Can you see this? I want you to get this book. I mean, you can open up anywhere. Look at this. I can just randomly open up Conscious suffering. If you have young children, give them help, guidance, and protection to the best of your ability, but even more importantly, give them space. Space to be. Yes, I needed to hear that. I am telling you, this is the best Mercury in retrograde 29th degree Sagittarius book on the planet. Anything. It's unbelievable how this guy just will speak to your soul and what you need. I don't like giving my daughter space. I don't like giving her any space. So I need to read this book tonight. Okay, so yesterday, I want to talk to you about this. This is really cool. So you know how I said, you know how I talked about that sort of angry aspect with Mars and Uranus and square to Pluto, and how is that going to show up in your own life with who's abusing power in your own life, and how can you expose it and liberate it? And it doesn't have to be sexual power, but it can be, but it doesn't have to be. It's just who's trying to dominate you. All of the sexual harassment out there is all about a power play. So I want to tell you, so that's sort of an angry aspect that's going on. But this is what's really cool. On Jupiter 1st, I mean on December 1st, Jupiter in Scorpio is in this perfect, absolutely perfect aspect, harmonious trine to Neptune in Pisces, which is so beyond lovely, because Neptune in Pisces is divine love. It's the source, it's God, it's faith. And it is the highest octave of love that we can possibly experience. It is a love like that transcends the human condition. It is a love that when you look into an animal's eyes, you connect and you feel it, and you don't even have to speak the same language. And it is unconditional love, divine love, and it comes directly from the source. So when it's in perfect harmony with Jupiter, the planet of great expansion, optimism, higher consciousness, wisdom, it just does this gorgeous dance in your life. And it's happening, it is exact on tomorrow, December 3rd, when Mercury goes retrograde and when we have that full moon. We've got this, you're going to see the heavens open up and the angels sing in some way, shape, or form. So yes, there's sort of this gory thing that's happening with this power play, and simultaneously we can really step into this divine nirvana. And we can lose time and space in the concrete world with this transit. And we can, it's a true heart opening aspect, and it can feel sort of like a dream coming true. It's a real Cinderella aspect. And if you have this aspect in your chart, in a synastry chart, meaning your partner has his Neptune and it's in perfect trine to your Jupiter, this is a Cinderella aspect. This is truly a soulmate aspect, and or vice versa. So if you have a really positive Neptune Jupiter aspect, even in your own chart, you are divine. I mean, we all are divine, but you know you're divine. You feel it. You have a magic. You are of an angelic nature, and or you can be. You can also be a drug addict if you abuse it. But the true highest expression of it is just so ethereal and gorgeous. And I am telling you, it is like a vial of magic. And so it expands whatever it touches. I'll give you a silly, stupid example of this aspect. I went to this super fancy, organic dog food store, and I went to go buy my dog food because I was completely out. They didn't have it, and I was just irate. I have to drive far. It's annoying. This is the second time it's happened. If they can't get this food, they shouldn't, or they shouldn't even offer it. It's very difficult food to get, and blah blah. So I was cranky and kind of mean, right? Pluto, Mars, Uranus. I was out of time. I was late. I had too many things to do. Of course, typical me. And then the lady says to me, "I'll drive to our other store and I'll go get it tonight when I get off work, and I'll bring it back for you tomorrow." What? Oh my God. So the Jupiter Neptune comes out, and it was like, oh my gosh, I've been so mean. I'm so sorry. Nobody deserves that. And I just felt terrible. And this little young girl, like 18 years old, wants to do this for me. how sweet. Like, wow, I was so thrown back by her generosity. By the way, the other store is not close. It's a pain in the butt in Seattle traffic to go do that. That's like driving in LA. Who wants to do that? Nobody. I mean, that is a real gift. You can't get this food online. And so, I don't know, it was a real awakening. It was a small moment, but I just apologized profusely. And I thought, wow, that's how I want to show up in the world. I want to be her. And so that's that Jupiter Neptune, where that's how two aspects can happen virtually at the same moment. And so I really recommend that you step into the Jupiter Neptune and embrace it. Now, I want to tell you another thing. So Chiron is going to go direct. And Chiron is the wounded healer in the chart. I look to Chiron to see where will you be wounded and how will you be wounded. And if we haven't really talked much about your Chiron, we probably should, because Chiron is absolutely critical to understanding your life's journey. And here's the thing about our wounds. Our wounds are the thing that motivate us and heal us more than anything else. We sometimes don't even form an identity until we know our wounds. Sometimes, most of us, many of us, form an identity out of our wounds. So Chiron has been retrograde. It's been in a reflective state. It hasn't been very active. It's sort of been dormant or sleepy, or it's been deeply internal, but it has not been. It's like the wounds are still inside, but they're in that retrograde motion going inwards. And so the wounds inside of you want to heal. The emotional and physical wounds that you have taught you something extraordinary and have led you to deeper pathways. Our wounds are our greatest teachers, not our victories. The sweet spots in life keep us hopeful, develop faith, and wow, they're so good for us. But our wounds are our teachers. So we're shifting. We are again leveling up. We're going to that next level. And we're gaining insight about our journey and about our healing. And here is the key. Accept your wounds. Lean into them. If they're painful, I have my own. And I have physical wounds, literally like physical body wounds that I have to nurture and lean into and fix and heal. And so with Chiron waking up, it's a time when we will find remedies, and remedies will actually benefit us and work. And so we might even develop a new remedy. We might find a new oil. We might find a new salt bath. We might find a new surgery. Now, instead of rotator cuff surgery, where they're cutting out the cartilage and remaking the shoulder, they're just doing stem cell injections, and they're working. And same with knees. And so that's on the physical plane, but on the emotional and psychological plane, there's help too. And so I just ask you right now to step into, just amp it up, step into really looking at your wounds and remedying them. So it's the 1st of December, 2nd of December, first week, before your insurance goes out on January 1st or whenever it does. Get your doctor's appointments if you have a physical ailment and start your process right now, because Chiron wakes up on the 5th of December. So it's a great time. Now, I don't want you to get a surgery though when Mercury's in retrograde. So, book your surgery after the 22nd, of course. You got to get through probably Christmas if you celebrate that. But find your remedies, do your research right now. So we're going to jump ahead because this is a really big piece. I told you that this month is it's jam-packed, filled with significant, just a powerhouse of energy. And on the 15th, now I got to go back. I don't know if you watched this last month, but last month I told you that November 14th was a juicy fruit day, and it was a money day, and it was a high octave Venus day, and Venus is about love and money. And by the way, can I just go on a tangent just because I'm a Sag? Isn't it funny that the square that I talked about, you know, the Pluto, Uranus, the Mars, Uranus, Pluto, it's about men. There's no Venus in it. Venus is in a happy placement to the sun right now, and it's not in that war. And so you are going to see something with that December 1st through the 8th, you know, with Libra squaring Pluto and opposing Aries. It's about men. And I'm not even a man, I'm not a man basher. I'm just telling you, it's a very masculine energy. And you know, you could say, well, Libra's ruled by Venus. No, but it's in Mars. So it's about men, and it's about men being toppled, and it's not about women. Although it's funny because the subject matter is about women, because it's about sex, you know, that the political or what's happening, how our society is being reformed right now. But here's what's interesting. Remember how I told you last month, the Jupiter-Venus aspect, it was going to be a big money day. Well, I had one client call me. She said, Meredith, I went to the casino and she won $3,500 on a jackpot and showed me the ticket. I was so excited. Yeah, it was a money month in November. So I don't know if you got a boost, a financial boost. I know I did, and I feel so lucky and blessed. And I don't know if you did. Now, a financial boost could be something like you got a tax break, or I don't know, your electrical bill was half off, or you won something in court, or you got more child support, or you kind of shut down some bills, or you recognize that there's a loss of money over here and you fix the problem, or you got out of a bad investment. All of that's saving money too, or making money, if you will. But last month was a money month, and I hope to God you benefited from it. That is November 2017. But this month, it's funny because that was around the 14th of November. The 15th of December, there's a powerhouse trine, and I want you to get ready for a giant surprise. Now, this surprise has Uranus in it, so I don't know if it's going to be a good surprise or a bad surprise, but because we're going to be optimistic, we're going to say a good surprise. So December 15th is a day of surprises. Now, and that's because the sun and Uranus are in this exact perfect trine, and it's Aries and Sag. And what can an Aries and a Sag do? Oh my God, get ready. It's big, 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 big energy. So it's going to be something surprising. So whatever you're expecting, it's not going to be that. I'm just going to tell you, because Uranus is shocking. It's surprising. Uranus is, you know, Matt Lauer and the guy, I don't know, Charlie Rose from NPR, like, and Garrison Keillor. Like, what the hell? These were supposed to be the good guys, right? We're never surprised when the evil person is exposed, but this is going to be a day of surprises for you in your world in some way that's like unexpected, shocking. And I pray to God it's good news. I want it to be good news for you. That's December 15th. So on the 17th, mark your calendar, because it is the new moon in Sag. And it's the new moon with all these other planets in Sagittarius. If you don't have enough energy with the sun in Sag, and by the way, can't you feel the elevation? It's like fun and exciting right now. And I mean, we're getting ready to go snow skiing, and we're going to go down to Snowflake Lane. And it's just, I don't know. I know there's all that icky stuff in the world. I try to stay off Twitter. I really can't, because I'm kind of addicted to knowing the bad stuff too. Don't go on there unless you have a thick skin. But I also simultaneously, in my personal life, there's such an abundance of love. And I can just feel the elevation of this Sagittarius energy. And so there's the new moon on the 17th, and it's at 10:30 p.m. Pacific time on the 17th. But you also have you also have Venus there, and Mercury, which is retrograding, and Saturn, and the sun and moon are all in Sag. So it's the stellium, it's these 5 planets. And so it's a heavier, excuse me, it's a heavier new moon than other new moons, because it's got all this supporting, the whole supporting cast is Sagittarius. The whole choir is Sagittarius. If you need that in your life, if you need that in your life, oh my God, take it on. So because this moon is energizing us with Venus trining Uranus, this new moon is going to awaken the adventurer in all of us. So because it's in just fire, so it's going to awaken passion and the sense of adventure. And it's an opportunity to focus on our goals that are going to give us the courage to expand our horizons and gain confidence and gain awareness and gain wisdom and perspective. And it's like we're going to be able to transcend the day-to-day mundane aspects of chores. And we're going to step into nurturing our faith, our hope, our optimism. We're going to get a new vision for how we're going to cope with the whole next year. And this is going to be exciting because we're going to get this new vision right before our full moon on the 1st of January. And so I'm just telling you that between the 17th, and I know Christmas is happening, but, and that's beautiful and lovely. And a lot of people put hope and faith and optimism into that day. And I want you to, but there's a lot of people also that feel lonely during this time of year. But I don't want you to feel lonely between the 17th and the 1st of January. The 17th of December through the 1st of January is the time when you need to get your whole new vision together. Not the teeny weeny rinky dink details. Leave that to later, okay? Leave that till when we get into Capricorn. But right now, like, I want you to think about, what's your new theme song going to be? What's going to be the new color palette in your house? What's your new, go buy new bedding, you know? So it's like a new flavor, a new scent, a new paint, a new feeling, a new vibe, a new theme, a new book, a new philosophy, a new approach, a new way that you walk through life, a new, like how I changed my attitude in the dog food store, a new attitude, just a new approach. I just knew I needed to be nicer. I didn't know exactly how I was going to be nicer. I just knew I got to be nicer. I don't need to be in such a hurry. My mom gave me the best advice in the world. She said, Meredith, if you do half the stuff you do in a day, you'll have a better day. So that's going to be my new wisdom. I'm so lucky that I do have a really wise mom. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start clearing the decks and do half the stuff, and I'll probably actually get more done. So develop a new faith. Now, there's another big aspect, and we're only on the 19th, but on the 19th, I want you to realize that something big is shifting. And for me, it's hallelujah. If you're a Capricorn, I feel for you. And I say that lovingly because Saturn is moving out of Sag. And Saturn is the great taskmaster. It is our karmic planet. It's the one where karma bites you in the ass, so do the right thing. It is our grand teacher, and it is uncomfortable because it can oppress you. It can teach you kind of the hard way. It's not very nice. It can oppress you, suppress you, repress you. You can feel shoved down, pushed down. You can feel like there's a noose around your neck. You feel the weight of the world of responsibilities on your back. It's enormous, and you can't get away from Saturn. And so wherever Saturn is in your chart, that's where you're going to get kind of squished. And so it's been sitting on my sun, my soul, and my Venus now for about 3 years. And it's been in Sagittarius for about 3 years, since 2014. And on December 19th, it's moving out of Sag and into Capricorn. And it's going to stay there until December 2020. So it's there for a long time. Now, if I tell you I was not afraid when Saturn was in Scorpio and I knew it was coming into Sagittarius, I would be lying to you. And if I tell you that it was easy breezy, I would be lying to you. But some of the greatest things happened to me through the hard work. And also sometimes when Saturn sits on your sun, you get health problems. And like Chiron going direct, you know, our wounds are also our teachers. And so when Saturn was on my soul, there is an oppressive feeling at times. There's a tremendous weight and responsibility that you cannot wiggle out of. But if you don't take shortcuts and you don't cheat and you do rise up to the occasion, the payout is so amazing. The payout is so incredible. It's like Gabby Douglas in the gym every day, giving up high school to work her freaking ass off to win the gold medal. So there is a gold medal at the end, believe it or not, metaphorically. And so I want to ask you, if you are a Capricorn, get ready to do your work, brace for it, get ready to face it, take your vitamins, because there is a reward at the end. Now, wherever Capricorn is in your chart, that's where Saturn's going to be. So this is an enormous, enormous shift. And it starts on December 19th. It's not like you're going to, whoa, feel the weight of the world on your shoulders on the 19th. But you will slowly see, wow, this is tougher to pay my bills, or this is requiring more effort. Now, let's talk about the benefits. So Saturn in Cap is going to help us structure our lives. Oh, by the way, Saturn loves being in Capricorn. It really didn't like being in Sagittarius because Sagittarius is too big for Capricorn and too mutable. And quite honestly, it's just not serious enough. But Saturn in Capricorn is like Seattle Seahawks playing on their home turf. You know, the Seahawks don't lose when they're at home. And that's because the stadium is the loudest stadium in the NFL. And when the Seahawks are at home, I mean, it is a victory. And so, I mean, I'm sure they've lost one game or so, but they rarely lose because the 12s have their back. And they're so loud that the other quarterbacks can't even hear their plays. So the quarterbacks snap the ball at the wrong time, right? And it messes them up. Well, Saturn loves Capricorn like the Seahawks love their stadium. And it is going to be a beneficial placement for all people. It's kind of hard for Capricorns, but they'll get through it because they are used to this kind of energy anyway, because they are Capricorn. So it's dignified. Saturn is dignified in Capricorn. It's going to help us learn our material lessons, and it's going to also give us stamina to accomplish our great work, our greatest work. It's like taking out an insurance policy, but like I said, don't cheat, don't take shortcuts, because you have to do the hard work. And hard-earned work can pay out big time in your life. So this is a planet, Capricorn is a sign that wants respect, and Saturn wants respect too. So we're going to see that there is more respect for people, especially in corporations, because Saturn also rules business. And so for people who've put in the effort, and they will see that the payout is tenfold. Now, conservation is going to be a huge theme because Saturn and Capricorns are conservative. They're not flamboyant, but conservation and being a little bit frugal, plastic waste, etc., recycling, learning how to compost, you'll see those are going to take off, you know, the tiny homes, all of that. So this transit's not about taking the easy road. Remember, this is till 2020. This is about really putting in the true, real work and striving for more authority from ourselves, like stepping up to the plate. And, you know, there's also cutting our losses. Like if something's not working in your life, oh my God, cut it out, get rid of it, rebuild, like with the Sagittarius wisdom, rebuild and create a new focus, and then do the little daily deeds that you need to rebuild your empire. So if a piece of your empire is crumbling, oh my God, get rid of it. Do not try to operate it with Saturn and Capricorn. Slice that off, amputate it, push it aside, create a new vision and rebuild, because this is the best time to build something. So let's cut our losses if things are not going well, and let's simplify and let's define and let's get real. And because this is a realistic time. This is a time when we really need to get real with ourselves. Saturn's going to reveal the weakness in your life. And it's going to reveal the weakness in your bone structure. It's going to reveal a weakness in your teeth or in your skeletal system and in your material concrete world. So if you can touch it, that's very Saturnian. And it's going to be when the weak spots are revealed, then you know where you need to strengthen yourself. And so the other thing is that our Saturnian projects, take time. And so we need to kind of go slow so we can stay healthy and balanced. And this is a time to be very thorough. So this isn't a whimsical placement. Also, this is a time when, I guess we want to be in control. And we don't want to be reckless with this transit. We want to do something well with it. This is like Beethoven sitting down to write the ninth. This really is the Ninth Symphony. This is like the plodding, meticulous, thorough work to create a masterpiece. So what masterpiece do you want to create between now and 2020? What do you want to get a grip on? Where are you weak in your life and you want to strengthen it? So also when Saturn is in Capricorn, it has the last word. It doesn't seek approval from the outside world as much, because we call it that. How we describe this is Saturn is in its natural sign. So it's the final depositor. And so it has the last word. And, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So it is so high functioning. And we're going to see that in the next 3 years, we're going to build something really solid. So this is the beginning of long-term, well-built program. Now, I just want to finish up by talking about the 31st. So on the 31st, December 31st, on December 31st, there's a Gemini moon. Now, with this Gemini moon, the sun is in Capricorn. It's a balsamic moon, so it's just before the Cancer full moon. And I don't love balsamic moons. They're melancholy. And so I also struggle a little bit with Gemini moons, probably because I am a Sag. But Gemini moons have two faces or two feelings in this case. Two faces would be a Gemini. Two feelings would be a Gemini moon. Two faces would be a Gemini sun. Two feelings would be a Gemini moon. So on New Year's Eve, if you feel like going out and dancing all night long and staying home, and having your, faux chinchilla blanket and watching a movie, that's normal. If you feel like you want to be with two different people, gosh, I want to be with my girlfriend, and gosh, I want to be with my boyfriend, that's Gemini moon. So you're going to see that you're going to have contradictory feelings on New Year's Eve. And what I want you to do is, it's a lot of emotional energy to manage, and it is in the balsamic. And it's at the last degree. So I want you to be careful. I want you to Uber. I want you to be smart. If you go out and dance the night away, have a great time, but it's a Gemini moon. And so it's scattered and it's electric and it's got all kinds of wild buttons, and it goes in all different ways, and it's two feelings all the time. And I do want you to have a very safe and wonderful holiday. But on the 1st, we get our full moon in Cancer. And I like this full moon in Cancer. It's more at home. The moon loves being in Cancer. It's also dignified. And it's a great day to eat your favorite foods and be at home with your loved ones and watch a movie and take a bubble bath and be in more of sort of an emotional harmony and unwind and have your hot tea and your comfy blanket. So And then I also want to tell you that January is an enormous month, and a lot is happening in the first week of January. And I haven't talked about it here, but a lot is happening in the first week of January, and I'm not going to be able to get back to you guys until Sunday, January. I'm not going to be able to do this on Saturday. I'm going to have to do it on Sunday because we're snow skiing. So Sunday the 7th. So I want you to maybe go look up the transits online for between the 1st and the 6th, because there's really big transits happening the first week of January. And I'm sorry I didn't get to them, but gosh, all this took so much time. So I'm going to leave you now. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I wish you just the very best New Year. Make it great. I hope you loved this, and I hope all your wishes and dreams come true. And I'm going to stop the recording now.